Revolver.
Yo,
Got Mr. Phillips on the line.
what's happening, good sir?
What's good, boss? Wagwan, how everything? Everything good?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty blessed, man. Can't complain, you know?
Right.
Yeah, man. So we gonna get it. I already gave him the rundown of the topics and everything like that. Whenever you're ready, Revolver, we're gonna jump right into it.
Jump.
All right. 5, 4,
All right.
3, 2, 1. What up, people? This your boy Rhyme Schemes. We're on the line right now. We got your boy Revolver in the house, man. I told you how we do it, baby. Spotify, listeners worldwide, baby. This is the grind league, man. Y'all know what it is, baby. A lot of interesting topics going on, a lot of things going on in the world. And also got a special guest, a legend in the game, been doing it worldwide for a long time, man. So we're gonna bring our guest on right now, man. We got Mr. Phillips. What up?
Yo, Wagwan with B for them. What's good? Spotify listeners, what's going on?
Man, I'm excited to have you over here, man. You've been doing some big things. You got a lot of big projects going on.
Pressure is mine, you know?
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on, man. But for our listeners, man, they may be hiding under a rock or wherever they was at. Let everybody know who you are and what's your history, what's your journey, and we get into some of this music you got out right now.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, Mr. Phillips come from a humble place in Puerto Rico, and it's been a beautiful journey in the music business, and just doing some really bringing some hot flavor in people's ears, for years, and it's been, like I said, it's been a blessing. And like I said, I'm happy to be here with you guys today, and let's get this show on the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what, man? Like, you from that era where everybody was doing a bilingual flow, but instead of people switching up in English, you was switching up with the island style, man, and that's what made it super interesting. Like a lot of people are trying to piggyback off that multilingual type of style, man. But the way you do it is a lot different than a lot of shout out to Magic Wand and all of them like that. But the way you did it was way different, man. Can you explain how some of that came about?
Well, as being having the platform at the time, and coming from the islands, from the Hispanic side of the island, you know what I'm saying? And because, my father's from Trinidad and Tobago, so I got that Trini thing going on. Then my mother's from Puerto Rico. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. And being in the hammock, and the Caribbean hammock, to be able to swing from Trinidad to Puerto Rico at any time and any day, and be able to grow up and listen to all the flavors from Trinidad, and then from there the reggae and the dancehall, and and then being having family in Brooklyn, to be able to see what Karis won, and the Busta Rhymes, and and everybody at that time was doing hip hop, and the hip hop was really, really dope at that time. Not to say that it's not dope now, but it was really rich. And when it came to roots, so growing up and seeing that, and I see my Dominican brothers, coming up and doing, bringing the Latin flavor into the mix. I'm like, you know what, man, I need to do my breed, I need to go into my bloodline and be like, let me keep it here, Everybody in their own lane, everybody doing their own thing, but the main thing is just to keep the root well nourished, and just bring the dancehall soca and the Puerto Rican lingo into the mix and keep it that way. That's where Spanglish King was born, and been doing Spanglish ever since. And I hear that Spanglish is a thing now, where people on the West Coast, people on the East Coast, people, all the Latin people are speaking Spanglish now. So I guess it's a good thing, you know.
Yeah, man. And I mean, it's funny because like I'm in LA, and like I turn on the radio, I can hear a full song in Spanish. Like before, like these markets didn't have that. So now it's kind of like it's not even really like, okay, I'm going to cater to the English crowd. The community has came together so much that it's no difference now. Spanish is like pretty much going to outtake English, and then so now it's going hand in hand with English in this country, man. So it's a perfect place to be in, dog.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that, how the Latin community and the African American community are coming together. Well, you know what? This is not like, for example, this is not new. It happened in Harlem with the breakdancing, when the graffiti era was on and popping like heavy. There was Puerto Ricans, from the Bronx and the black, and even going back to where the gang, the East Coast and the gang and the posses and all that, there was a lot of Hispanic and, Latino and African American mixture. You know what I'm saying? And it was a beautiful thing. And I believe that is part of the placenta that nourished the hip hop fetus that became a baby that now it has grown to be something big throughout the world, and the culture and the African American culture and the Latin culture mixed together. Now look what we got. We got Bad Bunny. We have, we got all these big artists that are going mainstream now, and we got Nicky Jam and Daddy Yankee and Don Omar and big huge. Now two of my buddies was in Fast and the Furious, Don Omar and Tego. Like,
yeah, man.
We in a big screen. My people's in a big screen now, and it's like, wow, it's a beautiful place to be alive at. It's 2019.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Don Omar is like, in both Tego and Don Omar, they're legendary. If you follow the type of music, it's for the listeners. If you follow the type of music, they're super legendary. But now they have crossed over mainstream blockbuster music on the soundtrack. Man, this shit is like going, it's going worldwide, dog.
Yeah, and I really believe that this is what the main intention of the Caribbean, the Caribbean flavor is on purposely had to come out eventually, and because the whole world needs to feel this flavor. This whole world needs to feel this love and get to know who we are as people. You know what I'm saying? Especially in a country where, in the age where there's a lot of misconstrued, youngsters nowadays. You know what I mean? When it comes to culture, and since we talk about music, it's basically the music industry nowadays. It's very. Can you help me out there? I mean, it is very right now. It's very
right now.
Yeah. Okay, so we could talk like that. Okay, cool. I was trying to be decent. But yeah, there's a lot of fuckery right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying any artist in particular that I don't like this sound or that sound, but I believe everything is part of the evolution, the musical evolution of it. But my main thing is, where's the artistry? Where is the craft? And what is the message behind it? Nowadays, we don't have too many messages, but this, that, and this that actually affects our community. I remember, I don't want to sound like a grandpa, but I gotta put my big belt on and say, I remember when in the hip hop community, people got together and did a song called Self-Destruction. I don't know if anybody will remember, but that was, I remember Public Enemy. I remember, and people had something to say, and people was saying something. It doesn't have to. Nowadays, what I consider equivalent to that would be like a Junior Lucas talking about, devil's work, for example, or I'm not racist, or going back to, or you know what I'm saying. But it's about or J. Cole talking about what's really going on. There's a lot of brothers out there doing music that are kicking knowledge too, but then everything is being drowned out by the fuckery. You know what I mean? And that's something that.
Yeah. Well, because Revolver and I was talking about this before you got on the line. Hey, Revolver.
Yo.
We was talking about the book called Blackout. Now, this was written by. It was written by like a guy who's been in the music industry for 40 years. His name is, let me not get it wrong, Paul Porter. He's worked for like Firecon, BET, and all that. He wrote a book. He's based out there in Orlando. He wrote a book called Blackout, and he spoke on that type of thing you was talking about with the like the reason why the industry the way it is. Like, the guys you mentioned before, growing up listening to Busta Rhymes and KRS-One and all the guys who had substance. He mentioned that payola is what created that. And so, like, now you can just pay somebody or pay a DJ or pay a company or get a contract, and voila, like a person can be a star just based on, like, paying to get their way in. And he was even mentioning, like, nowadays, they say Spotify playlists is the thing to get on. But you got the main ones like Rap Caviar and all that type of stuff where if you're not signed to a major label, it's hard to get on Rap Caviar, no matter what they tell you. And so it's like a lot of times that Rap Caviar and all of them are ran by major labels. So it's kind of like they're funding the fuckery, because when you start spitting that knowledge, they're not funding it. You got to kind of like, I guess you got to find a way in the door to be able to spit that knowledge.
Oh yeah,
you got to find a way. You got to find a way to sneak it in. But like I said, it gets drowned out by so many of these people being, paid to actually just, inject this into our ears. You know what I mean? Which it sounds dope, but when you look at it and when you really listen to it, and when these youngsters get to mature, they get to understand it. Be like, hold on, you know what I mean? Like, well, what will I listen to? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I mean, I don't think we got to go to that stage where we have to find ourselves and be like, what was we listening to growing up? Because we had great music, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And man,
it's really dope. But I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, I'm not trying to, it's just, I just really feel like there should be a lot more artistry and craftsmanship. Just like in sports, if you are in the NBA, your sportsmanship is no good. You're going to get fined. You're going to get, suspended. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically what I mean is that we have to be responsible as artists, as DJs, as the people that actually are the speakers, to be like, yo, now we gotta put some fire. That's why even though, for example, Eminem being so controversial, but I respect the dude because the dude was speaking his reality. He wasn't trying to spit on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to be from the hood in Inglewood or from Compton or from Watts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was talking that
white boy. He was talking that white boy trailer park life.
Exactly. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, he opened up a brand new can of that even us black people did not know. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That there was people. I'm telling you this. Why can't we do the same? Because the only thing that the people here in America are seeing is for us to be gangbanging and money this, money that. But then,
so here's a good question for you. So, him had the machine behind him. Do you think, because he stands right next to a person that raps just as well or better than him, Actually, two of them, because Obi Trice is there too. So do you think it had anything to do with their color for that push? Sure, he showed us a few things, but whoop-de-doo. His skill level was on par with two people in his group, essentially, but he's the one. So, who was doing the pushing in that case?
Okay. His camp, him being the face of his camp, right? And having Obi Trice, don't get me wrong, my dude, that dude's problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very talented individuals, but by him being the face of that camp at the time for his releases, do you understand? It was his project. They had to put the best of, they have to orchestrate track by track. You know what I'm saying? To make a long story short, this is part of the same thing that I was saying earlier about how systematically and within the industry, they're not gonna make M look crazy or stupid or too much out the box, so he won't be appealing to the masses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But did they?
So by Obi, I mean his camp maybe writing, give theirs. Do you know what I mean? Develop the M that he is now. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Am I staying in the subject or I'm going out?
Oh no, you good?
No, we good.
Blanket.
That's so funny, though, man. That's so funny, man. And we always manage to get on like Eminem. Like I think every episode we got something to say about maybe Eminem or because Revolver and I come up on the so Revolver is so Mr. Phillips. The Revolver's MC, like he's from the same era, the Public Enemy and all that. And then I went through his camp in order to start learning how to rap. And
okay, all right.
It's crazy. It's crazy because we got a track with Keith Murray, shout out to Keith Murray. But it's like when I hear that track every time, I just do nothing but smile because I'm like, damn, because that's his peer group. You know what I'm saying? Keith Murray is his peer. So it was kind of like all this time he was waiting to compete with his peer. And when he got on that track with Keith Murray, man, he murdered both of us. I gotta admit that shit live on air. Revolver just destroyed us all. It was crazy. It was just so crazy. So when we always talk about Eminem and all that, Eminem is from his same peer group. So it's kind of like he's speaking from a point where he's like, okay, put him in front of me.
Exactly. I might eat him alive. Of course. You see that. That's part of the culture, though. You know what I mean? The rivalry, and you gotta show your skills, and you know what I mean. And trust me, I understand that. That's the fun part of hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the young cats now. They don't do it.
I don't think they're having fun.
Pride. Right, or they consider the money the fun, and however they get to it, if it sound like trash, it's trash. As long as they get some dollars in the end, they ain't got no pride in the workmanship. That used to be the difference. You used to have to sit with your pen and pad and get to it. And you brought that bullshit out the house, somebody would tell you it was bullshit. You sounded like somebody else. They would tell you, stop biting. These niggas just line up now. The record labels just line them up like that's the sound. All right, we gonna run out 15 that sound the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Niggas used to have their own producers.
Yeah. I just feel like there's no more. It's not as fun as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Come on, anybody that came out, this album's coming out on such and such date, and you already can't wait what they're gonna be spitting. When Ice Cube came out with was it Lethal Injection?
Yeah.
Yo, I was dying for that shit to come out. I'm over here in front of the store, like, cause my boy had a little tape store right there in Inglewood because I lived here in Inglewood. And yo, he had a little, tape shop, and I'm like, yo, when you got the box yet? He called me at 2 a.m. like, yo, I forgot that I put my auntie's address, and they got it to my auntie's yesterday. I'm like on my bike on my way over there to the house, so I could be on this $12. I could get my CD. This is back in 91.
Yeah.
No, I'm lying. My mistake. It wasn't 91. It was in the 90s. I know that this thing came out, B. I think it was 92. Well, anyway, I can't recall.
It was around in there, yeah.
It rained a lot. It rained a lot since then. And, yo, I got on the bike, and I rode my ass all the way to like Cincinnati and was it? It was far, dude. It was far. Anyway, I went over there to get my shit before anybody had it. Before he even had it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm over here. Yo. And I was dying from it. It's not. I don't see that anymore. You know what I mean? I don't see that excitement. Unless it's a diss track. You know what I'm saying? That, there's people gonna diss, they got beef for it. So anyway, long story short, there's no excitement for me. When it comes to lyrically, there's only a few people that I'm excited about. And that might be just my personal opinion, but
no,
I felt.
That was me when Big Pun had dropped back in '98. When Big Pun first dropped that Capital Punishment, I was like one of those kids like that, because growing up, what I'm saying, I having Caribbean grandparents and stuff like that. I was like proud to go to school and be like, hey, we got a Spanish guy who's a rap now. And like everybody's like, whatever. Man, I was like, what's this? I was like, he's not rapping in Spanish either, he's rapping in English. Everybody was down, and then once I brought it to them, they was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So that was how excited I was, man, when I heard Plum, man. That was like, to me, that's just like, yeah.
Where did you hear it? Where did you hear him the first time? Was it on the Beat Nuts? On that Off the Books?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, who's this dude?
Those don't come around. Like, remember, like I heard them, and it was a year before his album. Same thing with Snoop on Deep Cover. Like these people you heard, Rick Ross was like that. Rick Ross' first song, that Pushing. Is when you hear that voice, Biggie, first time. And then you waiting. Who the fuck is waiting for anybody now?
Yeah, exactly. What's the excitement? It's like, you know what? It's like when you go on a first date, bro. You met her, you got the number, like you call and you talk on the phone and I was like, yeah, we're gonna go out on Saturday, we're gonna go to the movies. Yo, you over here getting your cut on Thursday and Friday too, just in case the dude messed up something. That excitement is gone, bro.
Clothes laid out.
Yeah, right. Yo, you're making sure your crease are like ironed out twice.
Right. Twice.
You know
That's the first one. A couple of days out is the first one.
Yeah. Exactly. Then you over here excited, be like, oh my God, your palms are sweaty. I mean, bro, if you love music, if the fans, and my main point is that there is no love for the music like before.
No, these niggas turned her into a hoe.
Exactly. So
that's
it's
what
like,
happened.
That thing's not even wet no more. That thing don't even get wet no more. You know what I mean? It's like you got spin, whatever lubricant people like to use musically, the auto-tune. I mean, I use it, you know what I'm saying, for fun, but I don't, it's wow. I mean,
For fun,
the thing
not
is
for
that
me.
everything I'm telling you now is happening with the Latin industry and the reggaeton and the Latin trap and all of that. So I'm seeing this shit twice. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So my pain is double.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, wow. So I feel responsible that, me as an artist, to be able to bring some authenticity, whether they appreciate it or not. But
Yeah, man. You being kind of humble here, man. We gotta let the listeners know, man. You got hit records out there. I mean, they probably think, like, who is this guy? Tell these guys.
Talking all this crap about this.
you got records that was Billboard, and you know that I still can listen to today. I mean, so let them know some of the things you've done, some of the people that you work with. You know, I got a lot of Latin people listening too. La muchacha that está escuchando, la señora aquí, all that. We got them listening. So tell all them the things you got going on. Or what
all right. Okay, cool. We can do that. Muchos saludos y muchas bendiciones para los latinos que están escuchando en este momento. Aquí Mr. Phillips aquí. Dándole un abrazo de esos rompecostillas. Los quiero mucho y sigan sintonizados a este podcast porque mejor de esto no se pone. You heard? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, I could go back to like 2005. Oh, well, we got Frankie J. Obsession. That was pretty big. My homie Pancho. Frankie J. Really good dude, humble dude. We got Melinda Flor with El Pueblo. I got stuff with Jay Sean called Stump with Richie Rich, Juggy D. They actually, I don't know anybody know who Jay Sean is. I mean, I'm just guessing. We got from India. We got a couple of stuff in Bollywood out there, soundtracks. And I've got to work with Don Omar, you know, Tego, Maki, Kevin Little, Notch. That's my brother for life. You know, Dynasty.
Baby Ranks.
Baby Ranks.
Yeah.
My boy, Baby Ranks. Yeah, definitely my brother there. You know, and now we racking up a lot of new tracks now. You know, we're gonna throwing some flavors out there in the air for the people. You know, for the people that are listening, like the people that listen to this podcast right now. You know what I mean? You know, we got we still got a lot of love to give musically. So, you know, I got upcoming song with Don Omar coming soon, really soon. We got some stuff with Tego that we just laid down. I got my own EP and an album that I'm cooking right now, 2 at the same time. So I'm going crazy right now, trying to, you know, mix that up really good and well for my peoples. And I got great things popping right now. You know.
And what about that track, Your Number? That one with Fetty Wap.
The one with Fetty Wap. Yeah. They hit me up. One Nation and OJ people, they hit me up like, hey, yo, we want some Spanish and we've been trying to hit these people up, but their ego is too big and they ask us for too much. And I know that your flavor is like the flavor, but we wanted to get somebody else in the Spanish. And what, you know? And I'm like, yo, you know what? Say no more. Just send it over, man. Just don't even trip. And yeah, I sent it, and I didn't hear for like 6 months. I didn't hear like 6 months about them. Because I have my producer reproduce the track. And all of a sudden, Fetty Wap jumped on it. You know what I mean? They send it back. Tell me, yo, you gotta do the intro again so you can mention Fetty Wap on it. Okay, no problem. And 2 weeks after that call, it was in New York. It was playing in the clubs out there and a couple of radio stations. Nigeria, playing heavy in Nigeria. And in Lagos, in South Africa, was playing really, really good. And Mike from One Nation hit me up from Dubai on the Messenger. I was like, yo, they playing your stuff over here? That track is crazy. People requesting that one over the original one. It's like, yeah, stop lying. Stop playing with me. So after that, it's been a wrap. We just been working a couple of tracks here and there. I'm just like again. I mean, I already know this. I already know how they work. We record maybe it might come out a year from now, 2 years from now. So I really don't know. When are they gonna release those tracks? Well, I got like 3 other tracks with AOJ right now. One with WizKid I actually jumped on too. So I'm very happy to. Very happy to be working with them too. They're good people, you know.
Man, so were you working like crazy? That's crazy, man. You sound like Revolver over here. Revolver sent me some tracks a couple of days ago. I'm like, damn, nigga. I was like, your ass work harder than Tupac. He's like, man, I could have sent your ass a whole album. He was like, I could have sent you 300 songs. He's like, I could have sent you 300 songs. Yeah, man, that's crazy.
I believe it. We get in the studio, man. We do 3 tracks in one day. You know,
right?
Like you know what I mean? Like we do 2.5. I'm not gonna exaggerate. We do 2.5. We go to the one that we intended to go in. Then my producer George Emiliano, he goes like, yo, I just did this last night. Listen to this. And I'll be like, yo, open up another session quick.
Right. I'm starting to find that that's a good working method right there. If you click off in the middle of your song onto some new shit, it just is like fire. And then switch back and you'll be fired up on your first one.
Yeah. You know the thing is that, right? You working on the session, right? And you already hyped because you already in the vibe, but then you take a break and then, food there, Uber Eats just dropped some food and you take a meal, but we were talking about work and this and that, and here it is. Now, this is like a picture, it's like a Polaroid camera. I might spit something freestyle right there on the spot, and then I may not even remember after we finish that session, the first session that we started. So it's better just to capture it right there as soon as possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if it's mumble rap, or even if you mumble it on the mic, just to capture the vibe, and then the words we just work it out later, the idea and everything. Just get the vibe. The first vibe is the best vibe ever. You know?
That's crazy, dog. Because that's how I did that T for Wine track, man. I was in the car.
T for Wine, crazy.
I was driving back from Vegas, like overnight. I was living in Vegas, and I was driving back overnight, coming to Cali in the morning. And I was on the phone with one of my friends from Colombia, man. I don't know, it was crazy. In the middle of the night, just talking. And all of a sudden, I came up with the track on the phone, and, talking to my Colombian friend. And it was just like crazy how I just came up with the vibe. I got like 40 recordings on my phone. And then I went back because I got the vibe, so I was able to go back and like kind of memorize it. So I'm gonna keep this one. And that's how the whole track came about, man. It was crazy, man. Cause it was like a damn, you have a rough draft. I mean, I had half Spanish here, half English here, half this. Man, it was crazy. But it worked out right, man. So yeah, I exactly know.
Yeah. That video, man. I gotta, yo. You guys went hard on that. That's a crazy track, and I love it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to your boy Jose, man. Qualita Films, man.
Yeah, Qualita Films. Yeah. He puts in the work, man. But it's just for him to be able to. I talked to him about that too. For him to be able to visualize and the song gotta be done. The song is the driver. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, the video's dope, but let's talk about the song. You know what I mean? That cost it all, because it's not the same. You could have a dope ass video if the song is whack, bro. You could just mute the YouTube and just, you know what I'm saying, and just look at the visuals. But the track is really wicked, man. That's a wicked tune right there. And then the video, it's like. It's just a little bit of icing on the cake on that, but that track is just dope. Sounds like a radio track to me, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. They've been picking it up, man, in the dance hall scene, man. So like, let's see what happens, man. Like the soca dance hall scene in New York, Jamaica, they've been rocking with it, man.
Yeah.
But I know how it's like you said, it takes a little bit of time, for it to really catch fire, and I'm just waiting. For the
it's all good.
Yeah.
You just gave me a hint when you mentioned Colombia. I had a Colombian buddy of mine in Costa Rica. Hey, I'm gonna send it to them as soon as we get off the phone. So, you know what I mean? So they can start playing in Costa Rica over there. Costa Rica's a great place to, you know what I mean?
Much love, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that place is number dancehall, number roots, thick roots. Nothing but it's straight flavor, and it's like Jamaica and Costa Rica go hand in hand. They're like, you know, they say like Panamanian, and they say that Panamanian, they Jamaicans. Well, Costa Rica's like Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? True.
Before we get to the next topic, man, where can they follow you at, man, and get all this good music?
Man, right now I got Spotify, Mr. Phillips on Spotify. I got a SoundCloud. It's Mr. Phillips on SoundCloud, official Mr. Phillips on the Instagram, and MrPhillipsmusic.com. That's the .com right there. You can hit it up, and got enough flavor for you in the world out there. So hit it up, official Mr. Phillips on the Instagram. You read?
Yeah.
Me want you to kill me with it. Come me wanna kill you with it. Cause I'm a killer. Ain't got no mercy on him. Cause I'm a killer. No mercy at all. Cause I'm a killer. Them all afraid of me. Cause I'm a killer. Cause I'm a bad girl. Cause I'm a bad boy killer. Cause I'm a bad girl. Cause I'm a bad boy killer. Cause I'm a bad girl. Cause I'm a bad boy killer. Love when first time me see you dropping. Tell me why you fi kill me with it. Why you give me, kill me softly. Yeah. Come again and just hit me with it. Girl no joke, we are sweetness. She a kill me with the tightness and the thickness. When me kiss her, she say me a cause the weakness. She a come the extra mile, forget the business. She got the killer boom boom, she want kill me with it. Nothing will be short as up, I kill her with it. Any position she request me, I fi pose up on it. And I went on and like Costina, me a fi kill her with it. Cause she know Mr. Philip had the bedroom bullet. Anything she request, she a fi get it for me. She know if it got no money, come here the dandy daddy. That does have a Mr. Philip, I fi kill her with it. Cause I'm a killer. Ain't got no mercy on him. Cause I'm a killer. No mercy at all. Cause I'm a killer. Them all afraid of me. Cause I'm a killer. Cause I'm a bad girl. Cause I'm a bad boy killer. Cause I'm a bad girl. Cause I'm a bad boy killer. Cause I'm a bad girl. Cause I'm a bad boy killer.
Most deaf, and I haven't talked to Revolver much. I don't want to hog your airtime either.
Oh, you good? We run as long as we run it.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. Hey, but Revolver though, man, check it though, man. I'm kind of vexed from last night, man. NBA lottery, dog.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what y'all think about the NBA lottery last night, but man, I was not happy that New Orleans Pelicans got the first pick of the draft.
No.
So I don't know what y'all thoughts are, man, because I wanted Zion Williams to go to New York. Like, I thought New York was going to be We're gonna have finally New York would have had a superstar. It would have been good for that market. And this would have made basketball good in one of the biggest markets, that had, since the Bernard King or what you call that, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Earl the Pearl or whatever. I can't think of his name right now.
Well, they was hot in Ewing's time too. Because remember, that was the first problem with the draft lottery was that New York pick of Pat Ewing. That's the frozen envelope situation.
Yeah,
it was loaded up. Ewing, Starks, Oakley. That was a tough team. They just kept bumping heads with Chicago.
I know, and that's the thing. Chicago, they could not get past Chicago. Jordan was Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Right. Jordan was Jordan, and that's what happened with the whole thing. And now Zion Williams could have been that. Could have made Spike Lee the happiest man alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now let me tell you this. Just so you keep a little bit of hope in your heart. Zion might end up in New York. You do understand he don't want to go to New Orleans either. And guess what option he still has open? The boy is still taking classes. He can pull back out of the draft after being drafted and selected and go back to college for a year and come back out again. He ain't got to go to New Orleans. And old boy about to leave New Orleans too.
Anthony Davis?
Yeah, he don't want to be there neither.
Yeah, another funny thing I was thinking, man, LA Lakers got 4 picks. What if some weird-ass trade happened when Zion end up in LA?
Well, I mean, he could. I mean, LeBron got to get the hell out of there. And then somebody need to come. I don't want to see him in the LA jersey, though.
Yeah, I want to see him in that Knicks jersey. Not in the Timberwolves, not in the damn Pelicans jersey. He to be in a Knicks jersey, man, because I really wanted him to go to the Knicks. But you know what? There's a chance to get Morant, who could possibly be 1 or 2. I mean, everybody's saying Zion's a definite, but Morant, these people got to look at the excitement and see what player works in that system. Because, Zion is the best player, in the draft, the most popular player, but does he really work in the Pelican system? Do they really need? If Anthony Davis stays, they would benefit. They got Drew Holiday. They have benefit for another dope guard like Morant on their team. Right. Or R.J. Barrett. You got Drew Holiday. R.J. Barrett become your second guard. You kind of look like Portland, as far as the 2-guard rotation. So,
right.
All the teams can really benefit is in that first 4. To be honest with you, but they don't have nothing to build from. They're just a bad team.
And you know how we had talked about it before. How good he really is at NBA level is going to be a couple things to figure out. Yeah, you can jump and all that, but that don't do much in the NBA. With you exchanging 2-pointers for 3-pointers now, and if you're looking at it, you kind of looking probably half at marketing and then half at player. Because what is he gonna do in the NBA? That's fine and all, but no matter how good you are, you ain't coming in and doing nothing but adding 20, 30 points to a team. And if you're super good, that'll be per night, and he don't have a jumper yet, so that's not gonna happen. So
I know. And only one man like that, LeBron James. Yeah.
Right, and LeBron jumper wasn't shit when he started either. It wasn't shit. It still ain't really shit. The motherfucker's streaky. And I mean the jumper that count, not the 2-pointer. You better have a good 2-point range. He got that. But that 3-pointer wasn't shit until the last couple of years. So the Fawcett's here.
LeBron.
Huh?
What I'm saying with LeBron is the fact that LeBron was the only one who was able to come in without a jumper and be effective right away. Like, he took a team that wasn't winning at all and made them a playoff contender, like, in a matter of 2 years. Like, as a guy coming straight out of high school.
Who was on that first Cleveland team with him?
Man, I don't even know, man. All I can think of was Mo Williams. I don't know, Mo Williams, and 5 guys from accounting. I remember he went to the finals like 5 guys and I ain't even Mo Williams. Like, come on now, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mo Williams, is your supporting cast. Maybe like the Brazilian dude, can't think of his name. Really, not even important. LeBron James took them to the finals. They got crushed in the finals, but he took them to the finals as a new player, fresh out of high school, with 4 no-names.
Right.
From the fucking janitorial staff. And I hate to say that, but I respect all NBA players, but, like, let's think about that. Like, the man didn't get no credit for none of the stuff he does. But, like, I mean, as far as Zion, I don't know if he can translate like LeBron did.
Right.
But, I mean, he can fucking jump.
Right. Yeah, because we don't even have. But see, we don't even have anything to even go and really judge it by, because the only shots we see him, taking to see form on shot is free throws, and that ain't shit. That free throw percentage ain't shit, and that shot ain't shit.
He got that left hand, and he's big. He's too big. Like, somebody gonna have to know how to really coach him, because he's too big. He's not one of them dudes that's gonna be like throwing up shots like Giannis or nothing like that, or
right.
He's too big. He's fast though. The thing about it, he's fast. He can jump, fast break, alley-oop. He'll dunk on you, fast break. He's gonna boom on you. But as far as, like, he's going to have to be, like, getting out in the post like Charles Barkley if he really want to be. But then he's too small.
Right.
Like, Charles Barkley is like a rare breed. This dude is kind of too small now. When you gotta post up Embiid, like, come on, dude.
Well,
post up Giannis.
He might still be able to do it. That's strength, that's strength. Because, he do have the thing that LeBron had. The nigga is a big boy. He's a man already. He got a man body. Giannis ain't got his man body yet. He's still a kid. That's why he's still fucking running through the lane like he a goddamn guard. He ain't broke nothing yet.
Yeah, that
shit ain't natural. Right, that shit ain't natural. You can't keep playing like that. And I guarantee he will not keep playing like that. Guarantee it. It's too dangerous. You too long to be stretching out like that. You got to learn if you want to keep a career, because you will get broke up. You ain't going to jump over everybody, and it ain't going to take really but for one other player to get aggravated one time, and you'll be on the shoulder. And how you fall is how you fall.
It'll take a Draymond Green.
Right. Dre kick you in your nuts, right. Like, continue on with that. How many times I'm going to drop you on your head before they tee me up and kick me out this game? It's 2 times, right? You're going to catch both of them.
But, yeah, man, I don't, it's crazy. So we don't know where he's going to land. R.J. Barrett is another one. He was projected to go number 1 before this season. He was the number 1 high school player in the country. He's from Canada. Very athletic. You understand, like, they talk about Morant, but R.J. Barrett had to sell how can I say, had to share the stardom with Zion Williams, Cam Reddish. So for him to average 20-some points a game and shoot how he shoot, sharing the floor with another superstar who's the top of the superstar, he's being overlooked. R.J. Barrett might be the sleeper.
He is the sleeper. That ain't overlooked. That's disrespected. Because, it would be one thing if you was like structured. I use an NBA team. If you was structured like Golden State, where your 2 guards was both firing, so what you chipping off of each other is kind of you guys playing off of each other, and then you dump it into the box if you feel like it. But really, Golden State actually pulled all their big people now are out. They're shooters too. So that would be fine, but if you putting up them numbers on a team where the other star is a black hole, you are a bad motherfucker. Because when Zion get the rock, he need a second to work with it. So that's a black hole with the clock running. So if you still doing all that damage, you are being disrespected. And Zion got you off hype.
Yeah. I mean, and then the fact is, R.J. Barrett was still able to, like, kind of hold them down. Like, he pretty much the whole team with Zion was out with an injury. I mean, yes. Cam Reddish, you know, he might be a good one. But R.J. Barrett is a dangerous dude. So they talk about him like as if he like chopped liver. I mean, you're the most popular player, but I really think R.J. Barrett has the easiest game to put into a system.
Yeah.
And he gonna fuck around and end up with the Lakers. He gonna end up at the Lakers. He gonna end up on the Lakers, dog.
You know, by the time this next season started, it might all be crazy. You might still be happy in New York. You might have Durant over there.
Damn, could you imagine Durant and Kyrie?
Mm-hmm. That should be what happened. Except, honestly, I would like to see what should have been, which is LeBron and Kyrie. That's ridiculous. That's the duo that fuck with Golden State. That was the motherfucking gatekeeper right there. And they crossed on their peaks. That's what's so dumb.
I know, they worked together so perfect. Kyrie was a dope finisher. Like, he's one of the best finishers in the game.
Right. And just when he really was figuring out, which he really got it figured out now, which you'll notice, he's got the Jordan thing now, which it ain't. He used to get to the rack before, but it was a little daring. Where he was like, this nigga's running full speed and just getting to the glass before the defender. Now it's a calm operation, which is where you want it. And that's where the two why they need to be together like now playing. Because most of them will be on calm operation. Kyrie figured out there are a few things in the league that cannot be stopped. He's deploying the same thing that Jordan deployed. Strong hands, strong wrist. If I get to the glass before you, it's goaltending or my points. What you gonna do?
Yeah, man. It's kind of difficult. Maybe he should have stayed. Maybe he should have stayed with LeBron. What do you think?
Yeah, it depends on who was driving what at the time. Was Kyrie just trying to get the fuck out of there after the injury in the finals or semifinals and then the loss the next season? I don't know.
I mean, think about this. Think about this. Dudes don't realize that Golden State was up 3-1.
Correct.
They was up 3-1. They won 73 games. Broke Jordan's record.
And
LeBron and Kyrie
ate that ass up.
Ate their ass up. Come on, dude. Like, come on. Like, what? Like, that should be enough. Kyrie, like, why you go to Boston? Go to L.A. Right. Go join that boy in L.A.
Right.
I want to go run at it because these other broke jumper, non-shooting ass niggas over there in fucking L.A., besides Kyle Kuzma, they can all fucking go to the girls' team. All of them can go. Maybe I'll keep Kyle Kuzma and Josh Hart because Josh Hart has the potential, but Kyle Kuzma is this year. Kyle Kuzma can be somebody's all-star.
Yeah.
So they need to like reorganize that roster, get rid of all those scrubs. Yep, I said it. Scrubs. Lonzo Ball, you and your dad, you scrubs. And all of them.
Hey, man, can that nigga play ball or not? I'll be watching him. I can't determine. I cannot make a determination.
Lonzo?
Yeah. What is that? Is he sweet or not?
He's missing something. Like, he's missing something.
Right.
Like, at UCLA, he looked okay. He looked good at UCLA. When they went to the Sweet 16, he looked in high school. I watched some games in high school here because I knew I live in California. He was good. He has an all-around complete game. He can pass. He can rebound. Mm-hmm. He has good floor vision. But he's not a scorer. So
yeah, it's like he hasn't found his NBA comfort spots.
Yeah, he's not a scorer, man. He can't fucking score. Like, you can't be a superstar. Like,
right.
You know, it's just like you're not ready. It's kind of like, nigga, you should have been in the G League. Like, that's how I feel. Like, that's how I feel. All that talent you got, and then your little brother is the one that's the best out of all of them. Shout out to the little brother, Jello, or LaMelo. I actually met him in an airport in London. When I came back from London recently, I actually met him in the airport. Dude had to be like 7 feet tall. I walked up to him. I said, "Hey, man." I said, "You taller in person than on TV." I said, "Man, you doing good things, man. You know, good work." And the dude was tall as fuck, dog. He had to be like 9 feet tall. Oh, man. It was so funny, man.
That shit is crazy.
But, yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. But I'm pretty excited about the games that's going on right now with Portland. I like Portland a lot, even though they got the ass kicked yesterday. I like Portland a whole lot. Dame, DJ.
They remind me of the Pistons, man. They remind me of the Pistons championship team. Like, what is this cobbled together niggas and you fall asleep for a second and one of them go the fuck off?
Dude, yes. You a genius, man. That's the shit I've been trying to tell people. It reminds me of like Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars.
Right.
And them motherfuckers was both averaging 20 a game as guards.
Yep. And then whichever one you needed it from a little bit more, or they like took turns. He would just come in sometimes, just come in off of a Benny Johnson, little breather and just come and bake for like 12 points in like 3 minutes.
Man, that and fucking like, I mean, they have so many weapons in that bad boy era, dude. Like, think about this bad boy era, dog. James Edwards, Rick Mahorn, John Sally, Dennis Rodman, Bill Laimbeer, Benny Johnson, fucking Isaiah, Joe Dumars.
Right.
Who was my missing? Aguirre got traded for James Edwards. Oh, Adrian Dantley.
Yep. AD with the crazy free throw shot.
Adrian scored 20 points a game. Plus.
Adrian was bad, right? He was on the downside of the career, still sweet like this.
Dude.
Stickman game.
How the hell you get a team assembled like that, dude? They the only ones able to Jordan like that.
Dude, like, it's like I was about to say, like, it's not because we was from Detroit, but really, if you go through all the other teams in the league back then, not everybody on the team is the shit. Like, everybody on the team was, like, the shit in their own way and, like, stars, like, in their own way. Like, when you went to Chicago, it was just Jordan and Pippen. When you went to New York, it was really just Ewing and Starks because he was a lunatic. Indiana, just Reggie Miller. Out west, who was on the Sonics? Kemp and Peyton and Detlef. Detlef was dangerous.
Detlef Schrempf.
Yeah. That corner three. Yeah, it was like, oh, remember the draft when Charlotte first fired up and they got LJ, and then there was some hell of a draft. What was the center's name?
Hold on, for Charlotte?
Yeah.
They had Alonzo Mourning on that team.
Alonzo Mourning in Charlotte. Yep, and LJ. And then they have a good guard too.
Man, they had Dual Curry on there.
Dale Curry.
Dale Curry and Newton, yes. Dude.
Dude, that was fresh. We just made this team. It didn't exist last year, and 3 years later, that's the start. And then Orlando, Penny and Shaq, 1 and 2. Jesus.
Dude, and they had Nick Anderson.
Nick Anderson, Scott. Oh.
They even had Horace Grant on that team.
Right. Horace was on the move then, yep. Horace was one of them ones that got caught in that weird system. Because teams had to, I think they kind of had to donate players to the expansion.
They did, didn't they? Yes, they did.
Because he wouldn't have wanted to go down there from Chicago. But like, fuck that. Had to change his goggles from the red draft room ones to the blue with some draft goggles. I had them as gold.
Yeah, man, that's wicked stuff, man. That's real. That's the real time, man. Like the only team I've seen close to that bad boy team is the 2014 with Chauncey and all of them. That was a similar. That was kind of like a similar type of team, the way they played defense. The way they slowed, they slow any. They beat Shaq and Kobe. Do we forget they beat Shaq and Kobe on the team together?
Dude, it was teams.
They beat Shaq and Kobe, dude.
Right. Teams going from 100 ended up to fucking 75 points at the end of the game. Remember, they used to shut everybody down like that. You couldn't get out of the 80s playing the Pistons with that defense.
I got a chance to witness some excellent stuff, man, yesterday with your boy Steph Curry. Like, I mean, you know, like how we hated Jordan back in the day. Like,
who?
Well, I'm from Detroit, and I like how Jordan plays, exciting to look. But when you playing against the Pistons and the Bad Boys, anybody can get it. That's how I was. So people didn't like Jordan because they won all the time. Some people didn't like Jordan. Some people didn't like Kobe. Now we're in the era of the Golden State Warriors dynasty. And I got a chance to witness Steph Curry yesterday. What you think about that?
All right. Here we go. One day they're going to call me a hater, I guess, but I never could be. I can't stand energy. I can't stand energy. Really. And the funny thing is, I've always been a shooter. Dude, that shit is like illegal cheap basketball to me. That's not even playing basketball. However, see, I was born in Detroit. I was never a Jordan hater. I like the best. My favorite players wasn't my first 1, 2, and 3 was not from Detroit. It was LA to Chicago, then to Detroit. I still wanted us to get them championships, but I was never mad. I was never mad watching Mike whoop ass. Ever, 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 ever. The game, if it's any sport I'm watching, I want to see the best playing it. Otherwise, what's the point? We could all be at the gym doing that shit. So when it's at high level, I want to see the best, and everybody else should be trying to get there. So of that level, I can never be a hater of Curry, because that thing is beautiful. That whatever he's figured out is the shit. And apparently it's kind of teachable, because you notice niggas on that team that shouldn't be able to shoot threes know how to line up a three. all of them can line up a three, and it's something that he's taught them. So the boy on his shit, and I say it's cheap basketball, but he'll break your fucking ankles. He get to the rack quite easy on everybody. So the boy got game. He made it out of glass a little bit, but that's all right. He got the game to keep him healthy long enough. If he can sit back there and bang them threes, keep your knees and legs and ankles together and keep balling. But yeah, it's I was sitting here and I was looking. It was like they was going to commercial and they was showing the fans, and their fans in their stadium was all hype, and I just looked at my wife like, they must not understand what's happening here. You can't get away from this team. This is different. This is really like playing against some cyborgs. 17, 20 points up at any point in the game other than the last 2 minutes. And if it's 10 points to 15 points, you fuck around with them, you will still lose with 2 minutes left. They can put that up, and you can't.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. This is the crazy part about it. I think Steph Curry, he's changed the way the NBA is doing. Everybody's got big man being perimeter shooters and things like that. So they changed the way the game. I think that's what you refer to as cheap basketball, because they have changed the way the game is. They changed the way it works. Like, because now they took away the actual back to the basket big man. There's no really a need for that post up basketball no more, like with Shaq. Shaq wouldn't have ever been who he was in this era, because he's not playing. You know what I'm saying? So like now it's like perimeter screens.
It was getting just a little bit like that with Shaq when Kobe started getting a little wild and he was getting frustrated. Hell no, Shaq would be throwing them niggas all around the locker room.
Yeah, but you know what's really interesting about this whole Golden State thing is Boogie Cousins, who's pretty decent big man, all-star caliber player. You know, can't stay healthy for some reason. I don't know if it's weight or if it's like, I don't know what it is. He just can't stay healthy. I mean, you have the Achilles torn, you out, you get traded, which you're going to see with Anthony Davis, which y'all supposed to have been murdering the league, you and Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Out of Kentucky. Like, come on, dude. Then you turn around, he gets injured off a fluke quad injury, like by himself. By himself, and now he's out. Okay, Boogie Cousins gone. Then, arguably one of the most best players in the world right now, Kevin Durant, who would bust your ass all over the court, which I find weird that he cannot win. He couldn't win without this juggernaut team, because let me remind everybody of this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me remind you of this.
Remind them of the lineup.
Kevin Durant had James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Cephalosius, Ibaka, and he also had the point guard for the Lakers, who was the point guard, who was a veteran with rings, out of Louisiana. Can't think of his name right now. The point guard.
Just got to go back to L.A. Lou, Peyton.
It's going to come to me later on, man. It's going to come to me later on. But the thing about it is, they had that team with Kevin Durant, and they couldn't win nothing. They couldn't win anything. So, and also Kevin Durant couldn't beat the Warriors on the West without no help. And so when they did make it, they couldn't beat LeBron on the East. So guess what? He's going to join a 73-win team, right, that got beat by LeBron James from a 3-1 lead. So then, whatever. LeBron lost in the first time. Kyrie was out. When Kyrie came back, they came back and won it. And nothing against Golden State, but I'm just saying that's the only stop they ran into LeBron James, because LeBron James single-handedly can change a game because of his basketball IQ. But my point is, Golden State Warriors won a championship. They lost by pretty much a possession to LeBron James, who's like arguably one of the greatest players ever played. You know, I would say top 10. And then, they still could have won. They could have still won a championship. You take Kevin Durant, who was one of the most efficient players, throw him on that team. It's like a super team, because it's like, but is it really a super team? That's why I need you at Revolver, because I'm looking at how efficient this team is and how they move the ball and the basketball they're playing right now.
Listen,
is they better off without Durant, or well, I don't want to say. Let me say this. No knock at Durant. Durant is good. Any team would love to have Durant, but do they need Durant to win a championship?
Need? No. Need? Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Because, you know, we've talked about Air Bomber number 1. We haven't even spoken about Air Bomber number 2. Clay's shot is damn just as fucking consistent. And the boy defense IQ is high as fuck. His basketball all around IQ is high as fuck. His mid-range game is stupid. So Clay is really the... See, this is now the problem now. This is how you know the team's an issue. Because even though we watched your boy go off, who really went off these last 2 games?
Draymond.
Wasn't it Draymond? I'll tell you somebody else I like even less. Is Draymond, because he seems slightly dirty, and he seems to have. But I'm starting to get him now, because I used to just feel like this nigga's just screaming about everything, every call, every foul. You waving arms about and stomping. But I see he just reacts like. I'm
gonna tell you something though. His fitness level is off the chart. Like, we always talk about LeBron, how fit he is.
Boy,
like Draymond Green. Fitness
Why
level
was he running
like,
full speed?
Man, like, I don't think he gets the credit for his physical fitness. Like, that nigga is shape.
He is out there breathing hard. Is like the second heaviest person on the court, but still running the fastest, while the rest of these little fellas is just like their legs is heavy. He just decided, I'm going to run through this. And everybody else stayed at the same speed.
Yeah, that's the heartbeat of the team, man.
Right, and he's got that. See, you just start going through the players. No, they do not need Durant at all. Durant coming to them was a help for Durant, not a help for them.
Yeah. Because the talk around the league is like, well, the Kevin Durant championship that he won with don't really mean anything. If they can get it done without him, did they really need him? You answer the question. It helped Durant because they look more efficient. The way they even play, they got Steve Kerr written all over. I'm not saying Steve Kerr put together that dynasty. I can kind of think about Mark Jackson and maybe what's his name that kind of put together the Clippers right now. Can't think of his name right. Jerry West. It's Jerry West doing. Jerry West, and I'll give Mark Jackson the credit, even though people want to hate on Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson put that dynasty together, but they playing Steve Kerr basketball. Like, it's simple. Right. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Like, you come off the screen, you shoot. You go off the double screen, you shoot. If you catch a rebound, you shoot. Like, it's not even like, it's none of this fucking ISO ball. None of this shit. These niggas running Hoosier, Steve Kerr, University of Arizona basketball. Right. That's what they run.
Only time it goes a bit awry is when they deviate. When you see one of them get just a little off and they just come off of automatic. That system works on automatic, and I don't understand what people don't get about the timing of sports in basketball. If you come down and fire in 2 seconds from the start of the shot clock. It doesn't change any parameter of the game. You're going to get the ball back in 25 seconds. You'll get it back sooner. You can jack up another shot, because most likely the other team's going to take longer. It's always a bonus to you. So keep your team firing. It's natural. This is reflex. This is muscle memory. The only time it's ever right is when you just rise up and shoot. So if you got everybody working like that, there's nothing that can be done. Nothing that can be done. And that's what it is. Come off your screen. And the other thing about our boys, one thing that he does, I think, better than anyone I've ever seen, is give a pass off. It can be coming off a screen. It can just be an across-court pass. But Steph is on the go. He is on the go to not just the next spot. He's on the go to the next 2 spots. I don't understand what people ain't getting. And that's really what the cheat code of it all is. All things have physics to them. Baseball has physics. Tennis has physics. Basketball has physics. This is why I could never hate on Jordan. When you do it right, Kareem was my first favorite player. There was a shot the man had developed that there was absolutely nothing due to physics that you could do about it. Plus, it was pretty. Well,
the thing about that is, like, he had a special skill. Dude, he had a special skill because that's the toughest shot to ever make. That's like pretty much trying to fit on purpose.
Right. He developed that skill because he understood it. I can do something that there's nothing that any defender can do about it. Only thing that can mess this up is if I mess it up. That is the ultimate thing that you want as an athlete in any sport. So what Golden State has done is when that system is on automatic, there is no way you as a defender can fight through enough picks, can get to the shooter in enough time to defend it. There's no way possible. That is what the cheat code is. So that's why I like to see athletes at their peak. Because if these athletes weren't at their peak and these 2 guys shooting these jumpers weren't on automatic most of the time, this system will look like trash.
They look like a more perfected version of European basketball. That's what they look like. They look like a perfected version. I watch European games, and I watch how these guys from Yugoslavia play and all this, how they play. The same thing. Them niggas be coming off picks shooting. They don't understand. They don't do the ISO ball. They just run that efficient pick passes. Like,
right.
It's crazy. Like, it's beautiful watching these dudes play.
Right. It's all like one motion. It's like they even learned how to shoot their jumpers like fading. Like, not like fading away, like fading hard, coming off a round pick.
Yeah. But, and so that's just crazy how, like, but the thing about the efficiency of Steph Curry, how this guy was pretty much tanking it. I would say tanking it, not tanking it, but like he was broke. Like he was not playing good at all. It's like the instant that Durant went out, this nigga turned back to the old Steph Curry. I don't understand. How is that possible? Is it the rhythm? Is it the touches? Because Durant's getting like 29 fucking shots a game.
Yeah,
Curry got to get what he can get.
Yep. And that's what it is.
I mean,
it is. And that's the thing. If he wasn't on automatic, it would look stupid. You would be like, why is he shooting on time and you got these other 2 shooters? It's no, because when Durant goes on automatic, he not missing either. There's nothing any defender can do. So you picking your poison. And it ain't even like Durant, you losing 3 shooting for 2, because Durant is banging from all places at all times. So, and I think that's the other thing that helped Curry. One reason he wasn't playing like Ish is because he kept getting them knees and them feet and them ankles tapped. His little glass bottom is what was going on. So when my man can't operate and can't come off his picks, his entire rhythm is off. So Durant banging out for them few games, And Curry got banged up a couple of those when Durant was going haywire. That gave him a little time to rest his feet. He wasn't running around so hard. So I think it helped. So when Durant went away, yeah, he could go right back, easing back into it. And you notice he's been looking tired. So them legs is still bothering him. But see, he ain't got to be at 100%. That's the other spooky thing. Right. That's the other spooky thing. Don't you look at him and don't you just know that he's not shooting like all the way accurate as he could be? He's taking wild shots. Like he really could be like up at like 80%, I think, naturally, and like freak people out. Like I think that there's something in his head that's different. I think he's seeing it like one of them weird, like, you know, savant mathematicians. I think he sees through the air. Like something's not quite natural. Like, and I know shooters. I know cats that sit in the corner and knock down 1,000, but it don't look like what he do.
But you know his dad though, like again.
Oh, Pop had a rifle. Oh yeah.
I mean, but they almost had an NBA title. I mean, he could shoot. His efficiency level was dope.
Definitely. Dale was a beast.
The brother is like 2 years. He's like maybe 2 years from actually being an all-star. His brother is.
Yep.
Steph.
He's coming.
I can see Steph. He had to work his way back into the league. Also, Klay Thompson's brother actually played for the Santa Cruz Warriors with Steph when they was playing in the G League. It's crazy how the brother. Yeah, so the other brother, the Klay Thompson's brother, I can't think of his name, right? He went to Vanderbilt. No, he went to, not Vanderbilt. What's the name of the college here, man? It's one of the colleges that's here. Damn, I can't think of the name of it right now, man. My memory's gone blank. But he ended up going to one of the Pepperdine. He went to Pepperdine. And he played at Pepperdine. Then he went to got a couple teams. He got a couple teams. Now he's in the G League still trying to make his way back. But that's one of Klay Thompson's brothers. It was weird how the Splash Brothers was killing in the G League and the Splash Brothers killing in the killing the NBA. But I guess to segue into something else, because this is like kind of important. Luke Walton was actually there in the beginning of that 73 season when Steve Kerr went out. We know Luke Walton ended up going to the Los Angeles Lakers because I believe he's part of the good old boy network. You know, my dad is, plugged in, and all this other stuff. These average players who happen to just be, friends with everybody in this good old boy network. I can say like Kurt Rambis, all of them good old boy network.
Hey, somehow Kurt Rambis put in work.
Man, Kurt Rambis is trash.
Kurt Rambis put in work.
Oh my God, man! Kurt Rambis, what you put him in there just to be the big man, just to be in there for size, defensive purposes?
Oh no, he had a little bit of game, just enough to fuck a team up. And then soon as you got crazy on it, he went across your head like Lambert.
Well, that's what you put him in there for. That reason. He's your fucking. He said he's your friend Zaza Petit shot.
That's your pick wall.
Yeah. Well, Kurt Rambis. So I'm gonna go back. I want to get this nigga too many times. I'm a Kurt Rambis hater. That's how they do with my boy LeBron. So Luke Walton went to the Lakers, and my favorite player of all time, Magic Johnson. Michigan State alumni, Lansing, Michigan, one of the greatest I think of all time.
Irving.
The only nigga I know that can beat AIDS.
Right.
He
Magic. He said his name was Magic.
Yeah, he made that shit disappear. So he was, pivotal point of part of the Lakers. He, he stepped down. And we know he stepped down, and we heard the speculations that it was like, you know, emails from between Jenny Buss and Rob Pelinka. Jenny Buss is the owner of the Lakers. And we thought it was emails. So Magic Johnson set the record straight the morning before Frank Vogel became head coach after Luke Walton got fired. So he get on TV and he said, you know, I still got love for Jenny. That's my sister. I'm always going to be a part of the Lakers organization. But Rob Pelinka, you know, was the one that was, like, talking behind my back and was getting outside of the Lakers organization to other friends, and he can't be trusted. And he said that. He said, you know, Rob Pelinka couldn't be trusted. He was running around, hey, where Magic's at? Why Magic's not in the office today? You know what I'm saying? Because he wanted Magic's job. This is when Magic's a legend. And Magic Johnson said he went to Jenny Buss. You know, Magic Johnson owns every fucking thing. And he told Jenny Buss, hey, I'll take this position to help out the Lakers organization, but I got 3 years. And he said he was told he was grooming Rob. He was grooming Rob to kind of have his position after he left. So, he groomed it for 3 years, that position. He had Rob, you know, so he was there. He told Jenny, hey, I got all these businesses to run, but, you know, I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of things, so I'm not going to always be around. And Jenny was okay with that. And so Rob went around the office and said, hey, everybody seen Magic? Magic's not here. Just trying to make it known, talking behind his back, having private conversations, and it got back to Magic. So Magic felt like, you know, he aired it out. He aired everything out. You know, he's talking about some of the moves he made by get rid of D'Angelo Russell to clear some cap space to possibly bring in somebody like LeBron James. He landed, plus another superstar, which would be Anthony Davis or somebody to kind of start the rebuilding trail on that.
Right. So
what happened, he stepped down. He went into a meeting with Jenny Buss and all the other people, and he was like, hey, I want to fire Luke Walton. I don't think he's not a part of this plan we try to do. They said day one, he said, yeah, we can fire him. Next day, he said, no, you can't fire him. And there's other people who's not a part of basketball, they're part of the business, stepping up and said, no, you can't fire Luke Walton. But then it's like, so does Magic step down, the Lakers fire Luke Walton, and they bring in Frank Vogel. Well, let me go back in the story. LeBron wanted Tyronn Lue, who was a coach that he won a championship with, who was an excellent coach, who could take mediocre talent and pretty much, like, understand how it works. He's a player himself. You know, he was on championship teams. You know what I'm saying? So Tyronn Lue kind of it would have worked out better. They tried to undercut him his deal and everything, and Tyronn Lue backed up. So pretty much they end up getting Frank Vogel, who once upon a time did coach LeBron, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, with Cleveland. Or no, what was he with? I can't remember where he was. But they bring Frank Vogel in. And so the only thing that I was concerned with about Magic, because he can do what he want to do, that's Magic. He's a billionaire without the Lakers organization. He's always going to be a part of the Lakers. If you think of the Lakers, you're always going to think of Magic or Kobe or Kareem. That's just how, or James. Well, you're going to think of Magic Johnson. He did so much for that franchise.
Right.
But I think that they kind of, like, for Rob Pelinka to be Kobe's agent, I kind of feel that Kobe played a part in that whole thing. I think Kobe because you got to understand who's pillow talking with who. Because Kobe Bryant is Rob Pelinka's best friend. That was Kobe's agent for some years. Kobe is a pivotal part of the Lakers. He is Kobe Bryant. So when you think of the Lakers, you think of Kobe Bryant too, which is rightfully so. He's one of the men.
Mm-hmm.
But Rob Pelinka is in the office. Now he has Magic's position. Coincidentally, he just steps up and he has Magic's position now. And I wonder if they were just sitting around, like, talking like, yeah, Magic need to get out of there. Urban making bad moves. Let's get him out of there. I wonder if Kobe would actually had a say-so in that kind of Rob. And then Rob and whoever else was whispering to Jenny and all them and this about Magic caused this. And I hope not.
Well, so then what's in it for Kobe, or you think it was just off the good side for his friend? Or you think Kobe coming?
For his friend. I think it was probably for his friend. Because I would rather have Kobe as a GM or a president of basketball any day because Kobe is a player. Kobe is still fresh out of the league a couple years. Kobe, like, some of these kids and all these people, look, even though these high-choir picks, that's who they looked up to. We looked up to Jordan in our age group. Everybody wanted to be Kobe or LeBron or what they wanted to be Kobe. Kobe is that guy for these young kids. So it's like Kobe has the power to bring whoever he wants to that franchise. I think so.
Right.
Because Kobe, he's like, what, just about 40. He's fairly young. He's a legend in his NBA league. Like, he got that killer instinct like Jordan got. That LeBron, he does have, but he don't have. Kobe would fucking shoot you out the gym. So these kids grew up going to be Kobe like we try to be like Mike. And so I think Kobe has something that's kind of maybe motivated Rob Pelinka, even though it could have been Rob's job in 3 years, according to what Magic said. And what I was kind of offended a little bit because, you know, I'm a Michigan fan. And, you know, Rob Pelinka played on that Fab Five team, you know, with Jalen Rose and Chris Webber. So it's kind of like, it kind of made me, when they say something about Rob Pelinka, I kind of like, you know, but I love Magic so much that I'm fuck Rob in my head, but I'm thinking like, well, this nigga went to Michigan, man. He played for the Fab Five team. Like, no, man, don't do Rob like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
so how bad can he be?
Yeah, like, you know, Magic, you tripping, you know? But no, at the end of the day, man, like, fuck Rob, because Magic comes first, you know? So now that I kind of gave a synopsis, what do you think? What's your opinion on the whole Magic Johnson, you know, stepping down and all that?
Man. It's hard to say because your theory is pretty good because it's kind of, you know, that from the top side, that's kind of what it seemed like it is. Because how do you take that icon of that team's location, the history of that team, the Showtime, which is just waiting to be brought back, is still Hollywood. They still balling out there, and even when they doing half good, you know, show. And then you get the big shiny pieces in town now. You request a move on a coach that makes fucking sense. The only reason for somebody to go against that is like you said, well, what's the connect? So now I start thinking, okay, if he goes ahead and he gets fired after the step down anyway, what fell apart? Because whatever fell apart took Walton out with it. So something's off there. From Magic's point of view, one, why the fuck would he be lying? Two, I'm a billionaire. Why the fuck would I be lying? Why would I care? Three, this is my dream job too that I'm stepping down from. Why the fuck would I do that? I was a billionaire before I got here. I didn't need to get involved with this. Me being here is proven I didn't show up I showed up for the love of this team. Magic donating to two places. I mean, Magic donate all over the place, but you know that sports money going. Michigan State and in L.A.
Yep.
In the Staples Center, around that area. So for him to be stepping down, I'm going to go with what he's saying. He got caught up in some bullshit, and I think the other part is, with you being a billionaire, you're also going to have a little shorter leash on how much bullshit you're going to sit and listen to.
Yeah.
So
another thing that is, he talked about buying the Lakers. The Lakers came up for sale today. He'll buy the team.
Now, there you hit me right where I was about to take it to. Last thing is, when you're dealing with an owner who usually talk ownership, and you the current owner, you at times kind of want to put that motherfucker in a box because you know what his ultimate intent is. You know he want that team. And that would, and people would look at it and be like, kind of right. If he can afford this team, he should get this team. And then if he do, make the changes, and that's what's in people's eyes when they see it change, then the public gonna be like, yeah, this should be his team.
I don't think Jenny Buss knows what she's doing. She's listening to Linda Rambis, she's listening to Kurt Rambis, just to all these different people. And no one has a title. I think everyone is just running around just giving advice, and no one is doing their jobs. That's what the same thing Magic said. It's like they running around. Do you just acquire the biggest free agent ever? You got LeBron James.
Right.
Everybody can say what they want to say about LeBron James, but I'll take LeBron James any day. I know his basketball IQ. Yeah, it's going to be hard to win championships. You're not going to be able to just go and just be lazy, lackadaisy, and just be a superstar. Yeah, you're going to take a back seat to me because I know how to run this fucking team. I know how to run a team. I got championships. I've been a winner ever since I was in high school. I came straight out of high school and did this shit. You know what I'm saying? So they acquire that. These people got to learn how to, if they want to win championships, you got to sacrifice. Chris Bosh is the number one example of selfless service. Chris Bosh was at Toronto, 24-10, All-Star, had his own team. He came over there and became the third wheel. His numbers declined big time. But Chris Bosh got 2 championships.
Got rings.
He got 2 championships, and no one never said he's out of the league because he had an injury, and he pretty much wanted to keep his life, his longevity, for these injuries. But Chris Bosh, he goes out with a pretty good career. He got rings. He would never got some rings in Toronto by himself.
No.
Even though he was a beast, 24-10. It was his team. And, Dwayne Wade was on a decline. Dwayne Wade needed his brother in order to get the rest of the rings to kind of solidify his spot as possibly the best, the number 3 of all time shooting guard in NBA history. If you want to go from Jordan to Kobe to Dwayne.
Right. Keep your thought there for a second.
Yeah.
Who was on Chris Bosh's team in Toronto with him? Was Grady still there?
No. But Grady was long gone.
Okay. So it was
Vince
just
Carter was long gone too.
Yeah, Vince was way gone. Okay,
they had TJ Ford and all them.
Okay, all right, okay. I remember Ford, now.
Come on now, TJ Ford not even in the league no more.
Yeah, because it was the Raptors was trying to rack up draft picks. I remember. Yeah, it was in the black hole. That's right.
Yeah, and so Bosh pretty much at that point, he had his own team. He was the man. He went over there in selfless service. So my whole point I'm trying to make is, if you want to win a championship, you know what I'm saying? Think about this, man. Steve Kerr got so many rings because he knew his position. He could shoot. He even got choked up by Jordan once. I think he got smacked by Jordan once. Paxson knew his role. B.J. Armstrong knew his role. It's crazy. It's just crazy how these prima donna ass players. Look at the Pistons, dude. Back in the back-to-back era, you had superstars on this team. And they came to the Pistons and took a backseat as role players to get a ring.
Yep.
You had Adrian Dantley scoring 20-something easily, 20-8 or something easy. You had Mark Aguirre, who was a superstar, scoring 24 points a game. You had James Edwards scoring in the 20s. You know what I'm saying? 10 rebounds per game.
Yep.
All these players took a backseat to understand, to be able to play that hardcore Piston basketball as a unit. And, you know, and the same thing with the Bulls. Like, there's some players that's like Ron Harper went over there, you know, with Jordan. You know, he was at the Clippers, you know, being a superstar. He went over and took a back seat. You know, Scottie Pippen really never got his. And once he developed himself in the league, he could have had his own team in his prime. I mean, he got his own team eventually once he was on the decline. But they almost won an NBA championship while he was on the decline. But my point I'm trying to make is it may get hard. It may get hard, but, I mean, I mean, you need the best player. So I'm not trying to the two-ball role because we know LeBron, but I'm just saying, like, I digress what I was saying. Like, but Magic definitely was on the right track with that. You know?
Right.
So as we get into another subject, though, like, what do you think about the East Coast?
And also to put on the top of that is, remember LeBron spoke too a couple days ago, and LeBron, see, I didn't see all of Magic's, but I did watch LeBron, and LeBron was disappointed and looked a little hurt, and he don't often look like that.
Oh, yeah, my bad, that's where I was going to. I messed up, I was going there.
Yeah, so to go ahead and lean way towards Magic's side, it means something was going right and somebody didn't like something. Oh, you know what? Guess who could have bought the team? Oh, you didn't want the two of their monies right there. Just the two of them could have bought the team in a year.
Who, Magic and LeBron?
Magic and LeBron got enough bank, just the two of them. And then if you want, and then it's just gonna take a little funding, and the two of them, who gonna outfund them? Unless you're on the network. And if you see that coming and you on the network, and maybe Kobe is, you know, on that side of the network, he would be like, no, we got to bust this up before this even get going.
Yeah.
And we got this dude with these brothers running around talking this ownership shit too, trying to sell $1 billion pair of sneakers, and the kid ain't did shit. Hey, it's way too many black entrepreneurs up in here with a lot of loot now. And two of them want to own shit, basketball teams, and own part of basketball teams. Yeah, they was about to take L.A.
Yeah, man. And, like, the thing about LeBron, you know, LeBron was kind of mad. Let me go back in the story. LeBron was kind of mad because he was like, it was on a shop on his TV series, and he was like, man, I was mad how Magic did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have called me, hey, Brian, fuck you, I'm out. He didn't even call her, had a decency of that, so he kind of felt like I came to L.A. because of you. You're Magic. I came here, you know what I'm saying, because of you, and you didn't have the courtesy to call me. But on the flip side, Magic's answer was that is like, you know, I made the decision that was best for me and my well-being. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and LeBron will understand that, you know, being in the league and the decisions you make, he made it for the best of his well-being. You know, and he said, yeah, I could have did it better, but I did it this way. And, you know, now I don't regret it. So I don't know. I don't know if he acted out of emotion and didn't want to tell nobody. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think Magic owed LeBron anything. I mean, at the end of the day, LeBron is his own man. LeBron making tons. It's not like you fucking like left a nigga on and I don't know. It's different. Like, he could have told him, yeah, but I don't think that it's his place to really. Like, they're not buddy-buddy. Like, I mean, they cool, but I don't think they were buddy-buddy like that. Where I'd be like, hey, man, I'm telling you all my business. I'm Magic Johnson. I'm a billionaire. Niggas need to put some respect on my fucking name. That's what they need to do.
See, I would say it like this, though. If we had a conversation before I got there, and you know that's why I came there, because we about to be doing this thing, if it falls apart, you do owe me a call. Because you might be a billionaire, but I'm damn near a billionaire, too. And the other thing about it is I didn't have to come to this bitch. I could have went anywhere and did this. So if you leaving and I brought my shit all the way over here, I dragged trash through the entire league, fucked up other players' careers potentially because niggas got shot out at the places they had no clue they was going. They thought they was going to be in L.A. It was weird and crazy shit going on. One person made an shit move. So it should have been some calls made. And that's the other thing. I think, I don't know Magic, but he seemed like he would call you to bullshit. Like, he would even go that far. So the fact that the call didn't come, I think it was really some bullshit. I imagine
it's LeBron James. It's like you call Alonzo Ball, you call him LeBron James, who's actually, the reason that y'all won a championship in these next 2 years. LeBron James can deliver it to you. Like, that's LeBron James, dude. I don't know why everybody keep fucking, making it seem like LeBron James is some top liver now. Like, nigga made the finals 9 years in a row with, half not players. You're playing against all-star teams with niggas shooting threes from the fucking, full court. He ain't got the kind of help, that kind of talent on his team, but his ability to lead a team got him there. So my thing is this, everybody's talking all this shit, he didn't make the playoffs. LeBron's this, Skip Bayless and all them talking shit. Come on, dude. Y'all know y'all forget? What have you done for me lately? I mean, I don't know what they're forgetting because, the nigga beat a 73-team Golden State Warrior team that had them down 3-1. By himself, scoring 50 points in the fucking NBA Finals. Busting their ass.
It's worse than that to me. He individually, much like, and see, this is the gap that I have to put when I start lining them up. Mike beat entire teams. You don't be at the end of it. You just consider the ass whooping Mike put on you an individual player ass whooping. Everybody on the squad got it that day. Kobe got who he was playing. He was just in his way. LeBron, everybody on that team got it. So at the end of these seasons when it was just his team getting dragged to the championships, he alone, each night, beat an entire team in their bench. Every single one of them was versus LeBron. And he did them every night through the playoffs, every night.
And he had fun doing it.
Right.
He had fun. You ain't see him in the fucking post-game interviews, the way how happy he was. He was like that kid from Akron again when you saw him, playing. That's probably the most fun he ever had, in playing this game. Not even the Miami series, none of that shit. Remember the series where this nigga, turned into a robot in Miami when they was down 3-2? And it was do or die, go home, and this nigga just, went on a tear and sent Indiana's ass home. The nigga he was just sitting so focused. Everybody forget, dude. They just forget. That's what I hate about these fickle-ass fans. They forget.
Right.
They forget, man. They forget. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know. They just seem to forget. I ain't seen nothing like that. I mean, Kobe, you guys seen Kobe, you've seen Jordan. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of things, but there's only a few players that just is we're going to be talking about that nigga like cultural icon. We talking about Kobe right now. We talk how niggas still wearing Jordan shoes.
Right.
I got the original shoes that Jordan wore. I made the remakes, but I got the original shoes that Jordan won that this nigga wore. But let me go back in the story though, man. Not even in the story. Who was the dumb motherfucker, and I'm going to say it like that, excuse me, whoever listening. Who was the dumbass that didn't pick Jordan number 1 in the draft? How do y'all not see that? How did y'all not see this coming? Did they not see it coming? Did they?
Hey, sometimes you don't. Because who went number 1?
Man, I can't even remember who went number 1. I know Sam Bowie went twice to Portland. And then Jordan went number 3.
It was Mr. Drexler.
Clyde Drexler went number 1?
So it wasn't a bad.
University of Houston.
Not a bad. Yep, it's not
University
a bad
of Houston. Yeah, he came out of the University.
Yeah, because he put up his 30 a night too.
Whoo! Damn, that's a tough one. Damn. Okay, now I gotta shut my mouth then. Cause that's Clyde the Glide.
Right. So it was
that's
like
Clyde.
clean version, or what's this dude gonna turn into?
Yeah, you knew what Clyde was gonna be because he had the career. He proved he had the career. Like he had the career. Like Clyde Drexler has a respectable career. Yeah, I guess you will.
Yeah, fully.
Well, I guess my argument would be Sam Bowie though. Like,
Sam,
why would you pick Sam Bowie over Jordan?
Well, it was still, I don't know. Sam could ball.
That was a hard one to because because the reason I say this right now is because Zion Williams can potentially be number one. We all know urban legend or urban tribal knowledge that Zion Williams might be the number one pick in the draft in New Orleans.
Right.
But we have niggas like R.J. Barrett, who's like looked at his chopped liver, and it's kind of like it's R.J. Barrett that Jordan.
Yep.
You know, it's Zion Williams he's the most popular player. He's the Clyde Drexler. You know, we got Morant going number 2 possibly. You got R.J. Barrett possibly going 3. And it's like, but do they? I mean, yeah, he got a little bit of deficiencies, as far as like outside shooting game. You know, percentages are low and things like that. But R.J. Barrett is a skilled player. His godfather is Steve Nash.
Mm-hmm.
Look at fundamentals right there. That's his godfather. He had Olympic experience and playing for the national team. He was only a freshman. He was 18 years old. He's the number 1 high school prospect in the world. Number 1 over Zion Williams. He was the number 1 prospect. He was projected to go number 1 in the NBA draft until Zion Williams came on the scene and, did what he did, highlight reel. So,
right.
Are we undermining R.J. Barrett?
Well, we're not. They are. Some team will pay for it. There are a few players that leak in and they turn into these monsters. They are indeed the next Jordans. It's like Leonard. If you were watching him a couple years ago, you probably should have saw what was about to happen. Can't stop him. We're in the midst of a few of them, and he's going to be one of them. That everybody's just going to be like, he's an unstoppable player. Meanwhile, 4 years from now, big fella's still going to be trying to shoot a jumper. The whole league has changed now, and he coming in trying to dunk on everybody. All right. See how you fit in. Because from what I can see right now, the biggest man on the court, we want to talk about our favorites, our centers that have no business. Boy, they have good three-point shots already. So what are you about to do? You're a little fella.
Yeah.
You're a little fella.
It's been eliminated.
Hey, Charles Barkley's position ain't been eliminated. People like to say that, but they forget what went on in Phoenix. Charles Barkley was the second most accurate three-point shooter on that team at some times. And he was between Marley and Ainge. It depended on the night. Charles will pull up.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. Charles Barkley had a high percentage shot.
All the time. Everybody just remember, in Phoenix, he would also give you a whole time clock worth of back down for that spin around.
He was efficient. Charles Barkley was efficient overall. He had a high IQ. He was efficient. Like, you know what? Dude.
There's absolutely
Charles
nothing
Barkley
wrong with somebody.
underrated.
Of course. There's nothing wrong with somebody backing you down and taking up the whole clock if they're going to score 2 points and get a foul most of the time. That's perfect basketball. A few fools can't do it on the other end. We're going to beat you every night. As soon as you collapse on, we have these crazy three-point shooters out here. Phoenix was a show back in the day. People forget. When LA was Showtime, Phoenix was the next show. With a little bit of Seattle in there, because Kemp was loud and...
Yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all know what it is, baby. This is the Grind League. It's your boy Rhyme Schemes, a Revolver.
Yep. And
we'll be back on the next episode, man. This is an excellent... Give a shout out to your boy, Mr. Phillips, that came on. Reggaeton legend.
Mr. Phillips.
Shout out to your boy, Revolver. He always doing his thing. Shout out to myself. Big up myself.
Man, that's airy.
And hopefully... Hell yeah. Big up myself, y'all know. And we'll be back on the next episode, man. And hopefully y'all can, maybe write us, man. Hit us up. Hit me up at Rhyme Schemes everywhere. And Revolver working in the
peso everywhere. Hit it on Spotify. We building the numbers. You can hit me at grindleaguellc.com, the website. And Spotify is just Revolver. If you're looking for music, it's everywhere digital. I got 8-9 albums out, so go have fun. We'll be back at y'all again, as always, and shorter next time. Not shorter in length of show, but it's going to be shorter in between. So you about to start grinding for the summer on you hoes.
Yes. All right, good night, people. Good day.